the transit of Rahu and Ketu that has just occurred. This is my second video about that, and in this video I talk about the impact of this transit based on your ascendant sign. Hello everybody, I'm Tina Chaudhary. Welcome to my channel and a very, very warm namaste. The transit of Rahu and Ketu are considered extremely important. They transit only once in 18 months, so which means they stay in the same zodiac for 18 months. And so Rahu has been previously had been in the zodiac of Aries, and Ketu had been in the zodiac of Libra. And now just recently on October 30th, they have both changed their zodiac, so they've transited after 18 months. Rahu and Ketu always move in the retrograde motion. They never move forward. So Rahu moved backwards from Aries. It moved back to Pisces. And Ketu moved backwards from the zodiac of Libra. It moved back to Virgo. Now, I've already made one video on this a couple of weeks ago, a couple of videos ago, I should say, the impact of this transit of Rahu and Ketu based on the natal planets that it's going to touch in your birth chart, because the impact of these of Rahu and Ketu is extremely significant in our lives. And so that's why I've made two different videos. One, which I already made, was based on the impact Rahu and Ketu are going to have in your birth chart based on the planets in your own birth chart that they're going to impact. If you don't have your own Vedic birth chart, which a lot of people don't, I also gave you a website where you can go in, you can enter your birth date details like your date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth, and it brings out your own Vedic astrology birth chart. It shows you all the zodiac houses and also shows you ascendant house. The ascendant house is the first house in the birth chart, and that's why it's considered one of the most important houses of the birth chart. The ascendant ruler is considered the driver of the birth chart, which means it's one of the most important planets for you. But go to the website, get your Vedic astrology birth chart, because in this video I'm going to make predictions based on this transit of Rahu and Ketu based on your ascendant sign. The ascendant sign is also your rising sign or your lagna, the first zodiac house. So I will put a link to that website in the description of this video as well. So if you missed that video or you haven't seen it, by all means you should also see it in order to get a very concise, accurate prediction based on the Rahu Ketu transit. So let's take a look at the details of this transit. Well, first of all, what is the transit date? Well, there's two dates that we take into account for Rahu Ketu. Because they're not real planets, the transit date is a little bit not so clear, let's say. So there's two dates. Like I said, one is the mean node transit date and the other is the true node transit date. So the mean node transit date for this time is October 30th. That's already occurred. The true node transit date is November 28th. So that's going to happen soon. Now, as far as the impact on us, I've always noticed in my readings over several years and the impact that it's had on me, my family members, I've always felt that the impact of this transit always starts when the mean node transit occurs, which in this case was October 30th. So as far as we're concerned, I feel that the impact on us already started on October 30th. So we will take that date as the transit date, as the date that this impact is going to, the impact that this transit is going to have on us. The other thing to note is that Rahu and Ketu always move backwards. Now, Rahu was previously in Aries, Ketu was in Libra, and now Rahu has moved backwards to Pisces, and Ketu has moved backwards to Virgo. Now, also the other thing we consider is that Rahu and Ketu don't have ownership of any of the zodiac houses, of the 12 houses. All the other 7 planets have ownership of some of the zodiac houses. As an example, Venus owns Taurus and Libra. Mars owns Aries and Scorpio. But Rahu and Ketu, because they're not real planets, don't have ownership of any houses. So what do they give us the impact of? The impact they give us is of the house that they sit in or transit in. So in your birth chart, wherever Rahu and Ketu are positioned is the zodiac that they're going to give you the impact of. In transit, as they're transiting, they take over or take ownership of the house that they're transiting in, and that's the house that they're going to give us the impact of. Now that Rahu has moved to Pisces, Pisces is owned by Jupiter. And so we need to look at where Jupiter is placed, and that's the impact we're going to get. For Ketu, Ketu is transiting in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So depending upon how well Mercury is placed in your own birth chart, you can see or get the impact of Ketu based on the placement of Mercury in your birth chart. So depending upon if Mercury is very well placed in your birth chart, you can actually see some good results from Ketu during this transit. There's a lot of people that believe that, both Rahu and Ketu are extremely malefic planets and they have nothing good to give anybody. That is actually not a true statement. That is true that they are considered malefic planets, but they are able to give very positive results to people depending upon their placements in their chart, depending upon the transits as well. So don't fear this transit, or don't fear Rahu and Ketu. And also I'm going to say, don't fear any planet generally. A lot of people also fear Saturn, but Saturn is also a kingmaker. Rahu is also considered a kingmaker in some way. So a lot of the celebrities, that very well-known celebrities, have very well-placed Rahus, and they earn the name and fame, the glory and the success because of Rahu in their charts, well-placed Rahus in their chart. So a lot of people made comments in my last video that nothing good comes from Rahu and Ketu. They're all bad, expect all bad things. That is not a true statement. No planet gives all bad things. In fact, even the most benefic planet, which is Jupiter, is capable of giving extremely negative results based on its position. So no planet is all good or all bad. All planets are able to give you good results and some challenging results. Definitely don't fear the impact of Rahu and Ketu. You should understand why it's placed, where it's placed, and how you can best utilize this energy. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how you can best utilize this energy, where it's placed in your chart. That's why I'm going to make the predictions based on the ascendant. So let's talk about Rahu first when it goes into Pisces. Now, normally Aries is considered the first zodiac of sign of all the 12, and Pisces is the last. But because Rahu moves backwards, for Rahu, Pisces would be considered the first zodiac sign. So now when Rahu moves into the zodiac of Pisces, it's considered the start of a new karmic cycle. What does that mean? Now this is the time when we all want to start new things. And what is it that we start? Because Rahu also is the master of illusions. It's also the master of playing tricks on our mind. We now want to think about how we can find happiness. Pisces is the zodiac that's ruled by Jupiter. It's also the sign of spirituality. It's the sign of finding peace and happiness. So now Rahu is the master of illusions. All of us go in deep into ourselves and we think about how we can find happiness in life. And a lot of us may come to the conclusion during this 18 months that following the path of spirituality may get us our wishes and desires. Why wishes and desires? Because Rahu never forgets about the obsessions, never forgets about wishes and desires at the material level. But Pisces is the sign of spirituality. So a lot of us may think following the path of spirituality will get us material desires, and it will also give us happiness. So this is the time when we all fool ourselves into thinking we're very spiritual. We're following the spiritual path, and now this is what's going to give me happiness. But at the same time, we need to really think about, are we really spiritual? Is the spirituality that Rahu is making us follow, is that true spirituality? And so you really need to think about it. It's great to be spiritual. It's great to do spiritual things, but are they true spiritual things, or is just Rahu engineered spiritual things, which is the fake spirituality? So I'm just going to counsel everybody to say, or to think, is when we do follow this path of what we call spirituality, the Pisces spirituality, is it real, or is it just something that we do because we are trying to fulfill our desires, or we're trying to find happiness within ourselves, but that happiness is tied to material desires? So that's what Rahu is going to make all of us do, is chase the illusion of what we think is our happiness. So we're going to look for happiness, start a new karmic cycle, chasing for something mainly happiness. So we're looking for happiness, and we're going to find ways to figure out what that happiness is based on your ascendant. I'll talk about what we think where we think we're going to find our happiness. And now Ketu is in Mercury ruled Virgo. Ketu breaks down and brings us back to reality. And Mercury rules the small things, very, very small, tiny details. It's very analytical. Ketu loves little details. Ketu is not about the big picture. Ketu is about small things. So Ketu actually performs well in Virgo. And the reason for that is now Ketu brings us back to reality, because it makes you analyze in depth the small details, the things that we didn't want to face before. Why? Because Virgo represents all those things that we never want to face, the things that we try to run away from and we don't want to talk about or don't want to face or try to run away from previously in the previous probably transit. Virgo represents our health. Virgo represents not getting along with people. Virgo represents loans, debts, finances when we don't manage them well, which is why they're loans and debts. Virgo also represents our daily schedule and the things we do on a daily basis. And so now here comes Ketu and says, let's take a very deep look, an analytical look at all these things. And now you may want to make a change. Ketu has separative tendencies. So it does cause us to leave things behind in our life. So health, as far as health is concerned, a lot of us may take a very good look at our health and say, we're not doing well. We need to change our attitude towards health. We need to do more healthy things for ourselves. Some of us may get ill, and some of us may finally take the step towards doing better things for our health. If there was some surgery that you were prolonging for a very long time, Ketu is going to force you to have it now, because Ketu does represent surgery. But surgery that you really needed but were avoiding, here comes Ketu. It's going to make you do it now. So things like that. Also things like loans and debts. These are the things that we never want to talk about our face. And now Ketu is going to have you take a good look at that and say, do you even really need the loan? Do you even really need to take on this much debt so you can find material happiness? And then you might take a look at yourself and go, it's not worth taking on so much loans just to buy material things. And then you may get detached from those things and say, I don't really need it. So those are the kind of things that Ketu is going to make us do. So here's this axis of the Pisces and Virgo axis, where Pisces is spirituality. Virgo is letting go of things after you take a deep analysis into what you really need and what you can cut out of your life. And so if you can utilize this axis energy of Pisces and Virgo well, this transit can actually do wonders for you. How? By understanding what you need in your life and what you don't. Things that are toxic in your life, things that are holding you back from moving forward in a joyous manner, pure happiness at the deep level, at a soul level. If you can get rid of all those things in your life, this transit can work out really well in your life. If you hold on to material things, if you just chase after material things, and you do whatever you have to do, you lose scruples, you lose your morality, you lose whatever, then the transit doesn't work really well for you. Then it actually causes a lot of pain. So this is the energy of this transit of Rahu and Ketu. My guidance to people is take a deep look at yourselves, at your life. Cut out what doesn't work for you anymore, whether they're relationships, bad jobs, bad bosses, all the toxic people in your life. And that's when you move forward and you find happiness and the true spirituality that I talk about when Rahu is in Pisces. That's when you get real happiness. And that's how you best utilize this energy of this transit. I'm going to make my predictions for each ascendant, but the basic guts of this transit is just that. Cut out everything that is meaningless, that may be too material, that may have you feel so much stress and pressure in your life that it's not really giving you real joy. Cut all of that out. Keep the people that are giving you joy. Cut out the toxic people. Cut out the toxic jobs, the bad work in your life. go for true happiness. And that's ultimately, it gives you more things in return. So once you cut out all the stuff that doesn't work, the things that do work multiply in your life, is basically what I'm trying to say. So use the energy of this transit well. Don't fear the transit. That's definite no. Don't fear the transit. Don't fear the planets. That's not what astrology is about, fearing planets. That's not what it's about. And I wish everybody lots of good luck. I am moving on to predictions, but don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have wonderful couple of the New Year predictions coming up in a few weeks. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and share this video with friends and family. I wish everybody a very, very good lucky transit. Aries Rahu is now in your 12th house, which denotes expenses and losses. But above all, it denotes spirituality. Rahu has nothing to do with spirituality, so it doesn't belong in that house at all. So it is not comfortable there. This transit can be an expensive one for you because Rahu will make you want to buy all the material things and luxuries that you desire, and you will not be able to control yourself. In fact, lots of Aries will have an intense desire to travel to foreign countries, and most of you may actually travel as well. Now, those that can't afford to travel will endlessly watch videos of foreign travel on social media. Now, at the same time, you're also going to get some interest in spirituality and start some sort of spiritual pursuit. You may even travel for spiritual retreats or for spiritual purposes, or places close to water bodies. Now, my guidance is to be extra careful while traveling because it's easy to get scammed or defrauded while traveling, and also stay very safe. Keep your luggage very safe because Rahu in the 12th, it kind of promotes getting scammed or losing luggage and things like that. Now, this is not a good time to do any financial investments either because the chance of loss is high. The 12th house does indicate losses. So be very cautious with your financial investments and planning, I should say. Now, Ketu is in your 6th house. That represents health, daily routine, loans and debts, competitions, and legal issues. There could be some health issues that force you to take care of your health. They will all work out in the end, but you will need to make some changes in your daily schedule or routine for health reasons. Also, my guidance is to not take on too much loans or debts, and definitely don't give out any loans to anyone because that will ultimately end up damaging your relationship with that person. So my guidance is, Rahu is going to make you spend a lot. So just be very cautious about the loans and debts that you can incur because of all that high spending. Avoid getting into any new legal issues. They may not end well for you. If you have any past legal issues that are coming up, those will get resolved well. Health-wise, there may be some sleep issues, or you can have disturbed sleep patterns. Some people may experience issues with their feet. And for those people that were delaying or avoiding any surgery from the past or previous issues, and this is the transit where you may end up having a surgery. Taurus, for you, Rahu is in the 11th house. Previously, it was in the 12th house, and the 12th house was a house of expenses. So you've probably gone through a phase of very high expenses, but now here it goes into the house, the 11th house. The 11th house signifies wishes, desires, material gains. So now here's the intense desire to earn a lot of income, and your focus is going to be on how you can increase this income in order to fulfill your material desires. Rahu in the 11th house gives amazing results. It's one of the best positions for Rahu to be in. So Taurus, this is going to be a very lucky 18 months for you. So for Taurus, this is a time when you will get lots of opportunities to earn income. If you are employed, there's a chance of getting your desired job or position. If you're a business owner, then there can be opportunities for business expansion. For both, all of these opportunities may have the possibility of a foreign element associated with them, meaning that they could be an opportunity from overseas or a foreign company, or even related to expanding your business overseas. Now, this transit is an excellent time to expand your professional network, and you may get a lot of professional and monetary assistance and benefit from this professional network that you establish. And you can certainly reach out to this group of network of friends or professional network if you need any help or assistance of any kind. Additionally, now you're going to expand your social circle as well. Some of those people that you get in touch with may be high level or influential people as well. Rahu likes to magnify and be seen, so you're going to be out and about and get noticed as well, socially as well. The 11th house signifies older siblings, so your connection with them is going to be very strong and maybe quite beneficial as well. Now, I'm going to say that this is a crucial 18 months for Taurus, and they need and should utilize this energy very wisely to avail of all the good opportunities and further their life goals. Don't get drawn by Rahu's illusion of luxuries, material possessions. Rather, Rahu's obsession of achieving its goals is the energy that you should focus on. Now, meanwhile, Ketu is in the 5th house. That signifies love, life, children, creativity, investment planning, and even mantra practice. So this counsels you to manage your relationship with your children and your love life. There may be a tendency to detach from them due to your intense focus on the new opportunities that are arising. And so the same applies to your love life, where you tend to lose interest in those relationships because you're so taken up with all these new career opportunities that are coming, with the goals that you're setting in how you want to achieve material wealth or career goals. So my guidance is to not forget about the relationships in your life that actually give you pure joy due to your chasing of personal dreams. If you start a new love relationship at this time, it could be a very unconventional sort of choice. That's what Ketu in the 5th house does. Also, this is an amazing time to do any kind of mantra chanting. It will be very beneficial. 5th house Ketu gives amazing results if you do any kind of mantra chanting. As far as health is concerned, my guidance is to be very careful about what you're eating and your diet. Otherwise, a lot of Taurus can end up with digestive issues that bother them. So take care of your diet at this time. Otherwise, there could be some digestive issues. Gemini. Gemini, for you, Rahu is going to the 10th house, and this is a very, very strong position for Rahu because the 10th house denotes your career. And so now Gemini will grow in their career and profession or business, and they will have lots of new ideas and plans on how to expand their business or how you can achieve amazing growth in their career. The bigger, the better. You know, they're not going to stop at something small. They just want everything, the world. It's as long as it's big, they want it. So the guidance is try to stay very practical and reasonable in their goals as far as their career is concerned. It's good to set big goals. Just make sure that they're reasonable, not unattainable. Now, for sure, there can be changes, positive changes in your career and lots of new opportunities that come your way. In fact, if you're hoping to get involved with any foreign or overseas businesses or companies, then this transit is very positive for something like that. Now, invariably, Rahu in the 10th house causes some kind of change in your career, including the possibility of relocation. Now, I do have a couple of cautions that if you do change your career or job, make sure it's the right one. Don't jump at the first one, because when Rahu is in the 10th house, there could be a lot of opportunities come, but all of them may not be as good as they seem good. So make sure you check them out very thoroughly before you jump on the first one that comes along. There's also the tendency to be a little bit egoistic and have an illusion about yourself that you can achieve whatever you want at this time. So keep your feet planted on the ground. It's good to be confident, but also very damaging to have an overinflated opinion about yourself. Rahu can give you that at this time. Additionally, don't try to get ahead in your career or get something that you want through unfair means or using any shortcut deals type of thing. All of these will ultimately land you in big trouble, kind of blow up in your face type of situation. Now, Ketu is in the 4th house, and that impacts your mental peace, your stress level. You're going to worry a lot, maybe even for no reason. Maybe some of you do have reason, but most of you will just worry because that's what you want to do, is just worry. But generally, you feel that there's a lack of happiness at home and you would rather not be there. So you prefer to stay away, or a lot of Geminis just end up traveling a lot. Staying away from the house gives you better happiness than staying in the house. Usually Ketu in the 4th house almost always gives relocation. And if it's not relocation, then at the very least, redecorating or renovating the house is what Ketu will give most people. So Geminis may actually relocate due to career reasons as well. Some Geminis may experience disputes or family issues relating to real estate matters as well. The 4th house relates to your home, your real estate, so there can be disputes within the family structure as well, and it can lead to a lot of disturbance in your mind within the family as well, and that contributes to a lot of mental stress for you. So one of the things that Ketu does is in the 4th house, it gives you the inability to make decisions. And then you have all these unknown fears. Another thing you need to be very careful is about don't take on too many debts or loans for real estate purposes. You might be tempted to do that. And lastly, take very good care of your mother's health and manage your relationship with your mother really well at this time as well. Cancer. Cancer, for you, Rahu is going to be in the 9th house. The 9th house is not a good placement for Rahu, and the reason being that the 9th house signifies our dharma, our spirituality, our religion. And Rahu has nothing to do with any of that. Rahu is all about material desires and nothing about spirituality. So Rahu is feeling quite uncomfortable over there. So now Cancer will be quite interested in following some sort of spiritual path or turning to their religion for comfort. Some Cancerians could actually also be searching for a new spiritual or religious mentor or guru or a teacher. So if you do, make sure that the person you finally choose to follow is very genuine and will be able to mentor you selflessly. But basically this indicates that you will be undergoing a change in your belief systems, that you may even question your own belief system and start looking for different ways to satisfy your spiritual needs. The 9th house is also the house of luck, so Rahu will increase your luck at this time. Now, the condition for activating the luck is that you stay honest and truthful in all your dealings in following the path to get all your material desires and wishes fulfilled. Don't fall into the Rahu's way of doing things, which is trying to find shortcuts, maybe also looking for some quick and not so pure ways of getting your material desires and wishes fulfilled. So make sure you stay honest and truthful, then that activates your luck factor. In fact, this is going to be quite a lucky time for Cancer, like I said, as long as they stay honest, truthful in their path. The 9th house rules your father, guru, mentors, and your teachers. So you need to maintain a very good relationship with all of them. Avoid harsh communication with them at this time. You may be tempted to tell them off, but that you need to resist that temptation, because that could end very badly for everyone, and you may actually regret it at a later stage. The 9th house signifies higher education and learning as well. So there's a lot of positives in this transit for Cancer. So some Cancers will get opportunities for additional learning. And in fact, some may even travel long distance for this education, because the 9th house does signify long distance travel. So some of you may do a lot of traveling during this time, because Ketu being in the 3rd house signifies short distance travels. So Cancer, look forward to 18 months of lot of traveling. Ketu in the 3rd house makes you focus on your initiatives, as well as relationship with siblings, father, and neighbors. These relationships now will undergo a major change. You may realize that they're giving you more stress than you want, and so there can be an emotional separation. Or you may stop communicating with them as much as previously and just kind of detach from them. In fact, this transit indicates that you may feel a sense of detachment from your close people, and you prefer to withdraw within yourself. The 3rd house also signifies the courage and determination for taking new initiatives. Now, Ketu makes you think about what initiatives or new things you really need to put your efforts in, and you may actually decide that nothing really matters much to you at this time. Although lots of Cancers can actually take up reading or writing as a pastime during this time. Health-wise, Ketu may impact your shoulders and neck, so be very cautious while doing any physical exercise or in general. And some Cancers may be very prone to throat inflammations and infections during this transit as well. Leo. Leo, for you, Rahu is going to be in the 8th house. The 8th house is not a favorite of astrologers because it does indicate sudden events and a very changeable period during this transit. The 8th house indicates confidential issues. It also indicates financial issues such as the inheritance tax and insurance matters. Rahu now magnifies these issues and brings them out in the open for you. If there were certain financial obligations that you were unaware of, now they will become known to you. The other unwanted significance of the 8th house is health issues. So take extra care of your health. There is the possibility of a previous health ailment recurring now. The house of Pisces rules the feet, so there may be issues with mobility. Of course, if that's your age and you've had a problem previously, and also breathing issues for people prone to it in their charts. Also, if you were prone to issues relating to your reproductive organs, then there might be a recurrence right now. Also, this is not a good time to make any financial decisions during this time because there can be losses. The 8th house does indicate losses as well. Also, I'm guiding you now. Don't do anything secretly because it will not say secret. It will become known to everybody. The health of your spouse may also be a concern at this time, as well as relationship with children. Jupiter owns the 5th house, which is relationship with children. So you need to handle your relationship with children very cautiously at this time. Don't take them for granted. Don't boss them around. Don't tell them what to do. Because all of a sudden you will say something and all of a sudden the relationship will be damaged. So this is a transit that signals things that happen suddenly, things that go bad suddenly. All of a sudden everything is going fine and then you say or do something and all of a sudden the relationship breaks. It's a time where you exercise great caution in your behavior and what you say to others. For you, Ketu is in the 2nd house, and the 2nd house signifies finance, family, and food. Ketu will make you take a very good look at who within your family is important and who doesn't add value or give you happiness. You may feel yourself detaching from those people that add stress to your life. You may even feel a sense of peace from this detachment. This transit will also make you very picky about the food you eat, and your appetite may become very low. Some Leos may even change their food habits completely. You may also lose some interest in financial gains and feel that the fight is not worth it, and you may be happy with whatever you have in life. Leos, my guidance is to you in order to get through this transit might be a good idea to stay close to your divine and your faith. Don't focus on material desires and wishes so much, but focus more on your internal happiness and how you can be less mentally stressed. Virgo, for you, Rahu is going to be in the 7th house, and this is the house of marriage and spouse, all partnerships. Now, for Virgo, I mentioned that this is a life-changing transit due to Ketu being in their own ascendant house. And so this indicates that they're starting a new karmic cycle. In the 7th house, Rahu makes you focused, almost obsessed about marriage and your partnerships and your spouse. It includes your spouse. Now, if married, your entire focus will be on your spouse. On the other hand, if your Rahu is damaged in any way in your birth chart, then it actually is not a good position for Rahu because it makes a person look outside the marriage and maybe get interested in a third party. So you need to be very careful. Examine whether Rahu is well placed or not, or has some damaging aspects in your birth chart. If you're not married, then the desire to be married will be quite intense. So you will be searching for the perfect partner, which is okay, but make sure that your expectations are reasonable. Sometimes in the quest for a perfect partner, people actually make the most inappropriate choices, especially when Rahu gets involved. So don't be fooled or scammed at this time, and think carefully before you head into a marriage, which is entirely possible when Rahu activates the 7th house. For those people that are married, the health of your spouse may be impacted now, but there is a guidance that I'm putting out for the married Virgos to make sure that you stay true in the marriage. The 7th house also denotes business partners and business dealings. So you may be presented with several opportunities for business if you are a business owner, but all of them may not be truly honest or appropriate for you. So some of them may just be scams, or some of them may not be very appropriate for you. So think carefully before you jump into new ventures, or you add more investments into existing business. This is time when you think very carefully about partnerships or moving forward in either new or existing partnerships. They could be very damaged if you don't move in a truthful, honest way in your existing partnership. So for you, Ketu is in the first house, and the first house denotes you and yourself. And so now you go through the process of analyzing yourself, what you need to do so that the problems in your life can get resolved. You almost feel like being away from everyone, because Ketu signifies isolation and detachment from others. But this detachment is not a selfish one. It's where you want to focus on your life and actions so you can make improvements for yourself and maybe the others that are in your life. This is also a time of confusion about yourself and what decisions need to be made. Ketu in the first house doesn't help in making decisions. In fact, it makes a person very confused. You may need to get help from others when you make key decisions. So try to get other people to help you when you need to make key decisions. Health-wise, some of you can have headaches and mental stress as well. Meditation is going to be a very good remedy when Ketu is in the first house. Meditation kind of helps strengthen the impact on the head and the mind and emotions. So when we say that this isn't the start of a new karmic cycle, it means that this transit is about how you need to move forward in your new karmic cycle. What are the changes you need to make in yourself and how you handle relationships? You need to analyze that very thoroughly, make those changes so you move forward in a very new way and you become a new person. Libra, for you, Rahu is going to be in the 6th house, and the 6th house denotes health, daily routine, enemies, competition, loans, and debts. Rahu actually does really well in the 6th house. It acts like a fighter, so it likes being in the 6th house. So for you, Libra, this transit is very, very positive. So the first thing that the impact is going to be on your health, and your health is going to be impacted in a very positive way because it makes you obsessed about fitness. You do whatever you need to do to get healthy, and at all levels, physical as well as mental. If you had previous health issues, they now have a chance to get treated, and treated to satisfaction, because they come to the surface, they get diagnosed, and you go get the correct treatment. Some of you may even change your eating habits completely. The other change that will happen is in your daily routine. The routine that you've been following for years may now completely change. And this could be because you're very health obsessed and you make changes in your daily lifestyle, or it could be work or career related where your daily routine schedule changes because of career reasons. The other positive impact is that if you are going to take part in any competitions, or you're trying to get a promotion at work and there are other competitors, then a 6th house Rahu almost always ensures success in competitions. But that doesn't mean you can do anything or not prepare for those competitions. As long as you prepare well, Rahu ensures success. The good part is that when Rahu is in the 6th house, a person is very vibrant, they have very good energy, they're very creative, they come up with good ideas, and they perform well. So that is one of the reasons also that you do beat out the competition and get the job that you're trying to get. For you, Ketu is in the 12th house, and it's very comfortable in the 12th house because the 12th house denotes spirituality, and Ketu is extremely spiritual in nature. So this is very positive as well. So now you may be drawn to your religion and spirituality, and some Libras may even travel for spiritual purposes. Some Libras may find that they're visiting religious institutions like temples and churches more than ever before. Not only that, they may feel a sense of happiness when they do that, but they also feel an internal satisfaction when they do visit these religious institutions. Above all, Ketu now controls your spending because you sort of lose interest in buying material things, and your focus will now completely shift from finding happiness in material things to finding joy in being healthy and in connecting with people at a healthier level as opposed to chasing material things. Also, like I mentioned, there's a chance of foreign travel or long distance travel, very possible for Libra during this transit. Additionally, for those Libras that are somehow engaged in their careers working with overseas foreign companies or multinational companies, this is an excellent time for career growth or for advancement in their careers, because 12th house signifies foreign, everything foreign related. So it's a very positive time if you're engaged in anything foreign related. And lastly, you need to take good care of your spouse's health during this time. There may be some issues that come up with their health, so take good care of that. Scorpio. Scorpio Rahu is in your 5th house, and the significations of the 5th house are children, love life, creativity, and education. The 5th house denotes also name and fame, so now this is a time when you get a little obsessed about these very significations. So you do whatever you can to get name and fame, not only for yourself, but also for your children, possibly. And do you achieve it? Well, that depends on your birth chart, but essentially Rahu doesn't perform well in the 5th house. Now, the positive impact of this will be enhanced creativity and new ideas on how to perform all tasks at work. It would be very positive for you if you explored and developed your creative side to come up with out-of-the-box ideas now. Individuals in the creative field will do extremely well. You can have amazing new ideas and your creativity will increase manyfold. Relationships with children need to be managed at this time. Don't force your ideas on them. You may damage your relationship with them, especially if they're older children. Also, you will have a lot of temptation to make financial plans or do investments to make a lot of money. Be cautious about investment advice. There may be more people that give you bad advice than those that give you good advice. Also, the 5th house indicates love life, so the love life does get activated, but again, you need to proceed with caution and make correct choices as far as a choice of somebody in your love interest is concerned. The 5th house also signifies education. So if you are a student or pursuing education, you may suddenly decide to make changes in your educational path. I'm cautioning you to think before you make impulsive changes that you regret later. Maybe have somebody give you good guidance before you make these changes. Now for you, Ketu is in the 11th house, and the 11th house denotes material desires, wish fulfillment. Ketu is not comfortable in the 11th house because it denotes just the opposite things, that is spirituality and isolation. So now you may feel a sense of detachment from your friends, from your professional contacts as well. And this could be for a variety of reasons. It could be because some Scorpios may be in the process of relocation because of the position of Saturn. Others may be very focused on their career growth and may have a lot of work responsibilities going on right now. But basically, a Scorpio will withdraw from social life and focus on a lot of other things, which is the burden of work responsibility and also focusing on the family life. Also, Scorpio needs to be very careful about making any financial decisions at this time because there will be a chance of loss due to wrong financial decisions. So you need to be very careful about investment planning or trading in any kind of stock at this time. Lastly, the 11th house does signify the elder siblings. So there can be some issues with relationships with the older siblings. So manage that relationship very carefully. Sagittarius, for you, Rahu is going to be in the 4th house, and the 4th house rules your domestic environment, your mental peace, real estate, and also your mother. So invariably, Rahu in the 4th house makes a person relocate or have a real estate transaction, means buying some real estate. But at the same time, you need to be very careful that you make the correct choice when relocating, or if you're purchasing real estate, you need to be very careful about what you're purchasing. Make sure that property is good and it's clean. This is also a time when your mental peace is going to be disturbed. You may feel very restless and even a little bit obsessive about all matters of the home. Your emotions can be a little bit on the roller coaster, meaning up and down, so that can contribute to disturbance in relationships with family members that are living with you, like it would be your spouse and children. So you need to manage through this transit, and one of the remedies you can do is meditation. That's always a very good remedy. for the Rahu impact in the fourth house. There's also the possibility of a relationship or health issues with your mother. So be less demanding, more understanding of her, because Rahu kind of makes a person very obsessive. So you may be obsessing over her, expecting certain things from her that may not even be realistic. So Rahu also can give some anger issues. So do your best to handle your stress and emotions well, control your anger with others. Now, Ketu is in the 10th house of career, so this indicates that this transit is all about the work-life balance. When Ketu signifies, change and detachment in the 10th house of career, so lots of Sagittarius will feel a complete lack of interest in their current job or careers and will want to make a change in their career or their business. Some may even feel the need to make a complete career change, meaning just completely change what they're doing, line of business, just completely change it. You need to be very cautious about making these sudden impulsive changes and understand that this fleeting, lack of interest is only a passing phase. So think carefully before you make any changes. But most Sagittarius will have had some change in their career by the time this transit is over. Even if it means, if it's not a job change or a career change, even if that means just changing where you sit in the office, but there's going to be a change. I have seen that when Ketu transits the 10th house, people do make certain changes in their career. Even if it's a small change, it occurs. But this general lack of interest in the career is going to be very prominent. Most Sagittarius will be very uninterested in what they're doing. They're always going to feel that they need to do something else to find happiness, or they deserve some happiness, but it's going to be not in the current career, but something different in a different career. From a health perspective, some Sagittarians might experience pain in their lower back or in their knees, especially so if you're prone to it or if you have had experience or issues with it in the past. So this might reoccur now. Capricorn. Capricorn, for you, Rahu is going to be in the 3rd house. And the 3rd house denotes communication, your siblings, short travels, courage, and initiatives. So Rahu does extremely well in this house because it expands and magnifies the significations of the 3rd house. Some of them are your courage and your energy to move forward with great enthusiasm and new ideas and new initiatives. So Rahu gives you this ability to fight against all the odds and make things happen for yourself. Now, if there were any matters that were stagnant for a very long time previously, now's the time to act on them. And these could be financial as well as relationship matters. You will have good ideas on how to work through them or how to resolve them going forward. And the other thing is you can explore new opportunities for yourself. The only caution I have is to check out everything very thoroughly before you embark on any something new as far as business or career is concerned, because Rahu in the 3rd can also bring on some scams, fraudulent people that approach you. The other thing is check all paperwork for accuracy, because the 3rd house does represent documentation. So the other caution is to keep your computer data safe and protected. Online scams occur when Rahu is transiting in the 3rd house, so be very vigilant with any emails or other communication that you receive via your computer. There can be somebody that's trying to scam you, or make sure you protect your data very well. There can be lots of travel for Capricorn during this transit. It includes a short as well as long distance travel. And the other thing is your relationship with siblings is going to be on a focus. So make sure you enjoy that relationship, both older as well as younger siblings. Rahu is going to expand that energy and make those relationships very positive in your life. Now, Ketu is in the 9th house. The 9th house signifies dharma and learning, education, and also luck. And that is an excellent position for Ketu to be in, because Ketu signifies all those things, your dharma, spirituality. So Ketu's having a good time in the 9th house. And it also means that 9th house luck is going to be on your side, because Ketu performs well there. So you will be very drawn towards spirituality and your faith. And some of you may even travel for religious or spiritual reasons. I have one caution I'm going to put out, and that's to be very careful, because sometimes Ketu in the ninth house causes some people to fall down and get hurt, especially from a height like stairs or something like that. So use a lot of caution on stairs, especially heights, and especially while traveling as well. I have one last guidance for you, and that is about writing, commenting on social media platforms. Avoid doing any negative writing or commenting or trolling people or writing malicious things or anything that might be controversial. It can end very, very badly for you. It could blow up really badly in your face. So avoid that at all costs during this transit. Aquarius. Aquarius, Rahu is going to be transiting in the second house for you. The second house signifies your family, finance, speech, and food habits. But Ketu is going to be transiting in the 8th house, and that brings the element of suddenness in this transit. So for you, sudden events can happen during this 18 months. Unplanned things can happen during this 18 months. So although the second house Rahu may bring a very good expansion in certain areas like finance, the 8th house Ketu acts in the exact opposite way and may remove them at the same time. So for Aquarius, this transit is a bit strange or tricky. Rahu gives you lots of new opportunities to earn money and increase your wealth during this time. But like I said, Ketu may cause an increase in sudden expenses at the same time, and then it all balances out. So there's a chance that there may be a disturbance in relationship with family members. And the reason could be your speech and communication style, because Rahu tends to give unpleasant or harsh speech. So others may get very upset or hurt by your words. You need to be very cautious about how you say things and who you say things to. Rahu in the second house is going to rule your speech pattern. You need to watch to make sure that you have you speak very pleasantly to others. Otherwise, it can be very damaging in relationships. Now, Rahu may also give you a complete change in your diet or the foods that you eat or want to eat. In fact, some people may even get a little food obsessed, because Rahu does denote obsessions, and start following strange food diets. And this may end up with some digestive issues for you. So you need to be very cautious about what diets or what foods you suddenly start craving or eating. There could be major change in your food habits. Health-wise, some Aquarius may have some dental issues as well. Ketu is in the 8th house, and that is the house of sudden challenges, like I mentioned. So these could relate to your own health, as I mentioned before, or even your spouse's health could be impacted. There could be a disturbance in your marital relationship. So like I said, it's going to be your speech pattern, it's going to be your health, but it's also going to be how you manage your relationships during this time. This transit is actually very positive in terms of earning money through foreign sources. So if you're engaged in the business of anything overseas, foreign countries, then there's a very good chance that you could earn very well through those means. So if you're trying to start a business, obviously you make sure that you've thought through it really well if it involves anything overseas or foreign countries. But the chance of earning through foreign means is very good during this transit. The other thing that this transit is very positive for is if you are waiting for settlement of any unearned income type, which could be insurance or inheritance, this is a very good transit where you can get settlement of that, something like that. Also, if you're engaged in the business of research and development, then this is an absolutely excellent time for you in terms of earning money through research and development projects, or getting grants through from the government for research and development projects is a very good time for that. Pisces. Pisces, for you, Rahu is going to be in the ascendant house, which is the first house. And the ascendant house denotes you, your physical body, your actions and thoughts. Rahu represents obsessions and illusions, but it is also an amazing goal setter. And for you, this is the start of a new karmic cycle. However, Rahu will present you some challenges and to your thought process, in that it causes illusions in your mind about yourself and the goals you set for yourself. These goals could be unrealistic because the image you have of yourself may not be very realistic in your mind. This also causes lack of clarity in how you want to move forward. Because Rahu is the creator of illusions, it causes a lack of clarity in the mind. So now you go back and forth between so many different options that you're not able to differentiate the correct one or the appropriate one for you. Now, typically, Rahu will make you pick the option that has probably the most materialistic benefit to you. However, that may not be the most appropriate for you in the long run. Now, Rahu also gives anger and ego issues, so you tend to not listen to others and you get a little stubborn about your own self and your own ideas. So my guidance to you is to take the advice of a wise person in your life, somebody whose advice you value, on how you should set your own new goals in your life. Remember, this is the start of a new karmic cycle, which means you need to set new goals for yourself on how you want to proceed for the next few years so you can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve in life, whether it's regarding your career or relationship or any other personal things in your life. If you utilize this energy well, you can actually set fantastic goals for the future. Try to be less self-focused. Put the energy and the effort in maintaining care and energy in your relationships. The reason I say that is that Ketu is in the 7th house, which denotes your partners in life. That can, of course, be your spouse and business partners. But the 7th house also represents the public that you come in contact with. Basically, it means everybody that you come in contact with. So Ketu in the 7th makes you want to detach from them and you lose interest in them. And so basically, you're so self-interested, meaning you put yourself first that you put everybody else second, or you consider them less important. So this tendency is to be avoided at all cost. You may also tend to get very critical and judgmental about others. And of course, that's not a good idea either. From a health perspective, there can be some issues with reproductive organs. If that is something that you've experienced in the past, then it can reoccur. If you were avoiding any kind of the female type of surgery, then that may happen now. The other thing is this transit may give some of the Pisces people headache issues, because Rahu in the 1st house does cause headaches or migraine issues. This transit for Pisces is a life-changing one, and it can be very positive if Pisces sets very clear, wise, and realistic plans for the future. They make sure to maintain good relationships with others by giving others equal importance and making very wise choices during this transit of 18 months. With this, I come to the end of my video. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful, positive transit. I'll see you on my next video. Goodbye for now.